On the plains of Nebraska, roads don't end. They just disappear. You drive and drive, and ahead, only darkness and the horizon, as if the earth itself might curl up like parchment and vanish into nothing. It was along such a road, beneath a sky scattered with cold stars, that the Impala rolled forward, black as a sinner's soul, loud as a curse. Inside, two brothers. Two hunters. Two men held to this world by only one purpose: find the thing that killed their mother. And survive. Sam Winchester sat in the passenger seat, eyes half closed, but he wasn't sleeping. He couldn't sleep, not after seeing Jessica on the ceiling. Fire. Scream. The smell of burning flesh. It wasn't just memory. It was a sentence. Dean drove, as always, calm, almost lazy. Hands on the wheel. Eyes ahead. Led Zeppelin played low through the speakers, Going to California. He chewed gum. Never smoked. Said tobacco was for weak men who couldn't breathe their own damn hell. Ogallala, Dean said, squinting at a sign barely visible in the dark. Place where even GPS is afraid to lose signal. 3 hours to Iowa, Sam muttered. Maybe we should crash here? For what? So I wake up tomorrow and find my favorite Remington turned into an accordion? No thanks. I've seen these motels. Built from old coffins and nightmares. Then at least grab a beer. You're wound tighter than a spring. Dean smirked. Beer? In a town with, according to the map, 317 people. Either it's a bar or a potato warehouse. But half a mile later, they saw it. The Rusty Spur. A single-story building, wood-paneled, faded to the color of bones. A neon sign, red, flickering like a dying heartbeat. For cars in the lot. No street lights. No movement behind the windows. Just music. Muffled, country. But something off about it, too slow, too deliberate, as if playing not for people, but for something else. Well, Dean said, pulling the car over, if there's not a single living soul inside, I'm going in anyway. I need a beer. And maybe a woman who won't ask me about my trauma. You're impossible, Sam sighed. And you're too serious. When was the last time you just let go? When Mom was alive. Silence. Dean glanced at him. Didn't speak. Just nodded. Then stepped out of the car. The bar was full. Not crowded. But full. People sat at tables, drinking, laughing, talking, farmers in dirty jackets. A couple of tourists with cameras. 2 older men at the counter, arguing about crop yields. Just like any backwater Midwest dive. But something was wrong. Too quiet. Too still. As if everyone knew the rules, but no one would say what they were. The music played without pause. One song followed another, but it was the same loop, repeating every 6 minutes. Sam noticed immediately.
Dean, he whispered. That's a recording. It cycles every 6 minutes. So, maybe the bartender loves that song. Or maybe he doesn't want us to hear what's happening beyond the walls. They took a corner table. The bartender, tall, gaunt, with the face of a man who hadn't seen sunlight in years, brought beers without asking. Thanks, Dean said. You read minds? No, the man replied. You're just the only ones who've come in the last 2 hours. Dean scanned the room. 10 people, maybe. All normal. All alive. Until he saw her. She sat near the back wall, in shadow. Redhead, in a black dress that clung to her body like a second skin. Face flawless. Lips crimson. Eyes, green, but not just green. Deep. Like a swamp at midnight. She was looking at Dean. Smiling. Only at him. "Well," Dean said, sipping his beer, "looks like tonight's my lucky night." "Dean, don't start," Sam warned. "What?" "I'm just gonna say hi. We're human, right?" He stood. Walked over. "Hey," he said. "You're either the local beauty queen or here filming a documentary on the loneliest people in America." She smiled. Voice warm, but with a metallic edge underneath. "Neither. I just like to watch." "Watch what?" "How people choose their fate. Some leave. Some stay. Others," she paused, "vanish. Kinda dark for a first date." "Who said it was a date?" "Me. And I'm already in love." She laughed, softly, beautifully. But the sound didn't reach her eyes. "My name's Margaret." "Dean. And that's my little brother, Sam. He's smart. I'm dangerous. Danger excites me." She reached out. Her hand was ice cold. "Come. Let me show you what makes this bar special." "After you, Your Majesty." Sam watched as they disappeared toward the back of the room, toward a door with no sign. Gone. 10 minutes passed. Dean returned alone. "Where is she?" Sam asked. "Went to the bathroom. Said there's a secret back there." "You're kidding. You actually believe that?" "Why not? Maybe there's a hidden bunker with 1940s whiskey." But Sam wasn't laughing. He felt it. Again. That wrongness. The people in the bar weren't laughing, they were repeating laughter. Like recordings. Their eyes too bright. Skin too pale. Then he saw it. On the bartender's neck. A thin scar. Vertical. From throat to spine. Like someone had tried to peel the skin off. Sam stood, walked to the bar. "Excuse me," he said. "How old is this place?" The bartender froze. 237, he said. "If you count from when it woke up." "What?" "Built in 1872. But real life began later." "When she came." "Who?" "The one who was with your brother." "Margaret. They call her the Queen. Because she rules this place. Not the town. The bar. This bar is her body. Her heart. Her tomb." Sam went cold. "What are you talking about?" "I'm not human," the bartender whispered. "I was the first. The first she chose. I serve her. Like all here. Those who drink, live. Those who don't," he glanced at the couple by the window, her children. Sam turned. The two tourists, the ones with cameras, sat motionless. Eyes closed. Faces pale. Their hands lay on the table. Thin cuts on their wrists. Blood dripped, not onto the floor, but into glasses. "She doesn't feed on blood," the bartender whispered. "She feeds on choice. Every night, she offers someone a chance to become one of them. Those who accept, become her servants. Those who refuse," he paused, "disappear. And Dean? He's already chosen. He just doesn't know it yet." Sam lunged for the back door. Locked. He slammed his shoulder into it. "Dean." No answer. He kicked the lock. It shattered. The room behind was small. Old, like the bar itself. Wooden walls. Stone floor. And in the center, Dean. Standing. Eyes open. But empty. Before him, Margaret. No longer red-haired. No longer beautiful. Hair now gray. Face wrinkled. Eyes pure black. But she smiled. "You're late," she said. He already said yes. "What did you do to him?" "Nothing, I simply showed him the truth. His deepest desires. To live. To protect his brother. To see his mother again. I gave him a choice, stay here, in eternal night, or leave, and die in 10 years from bullet, fire, or demon. And he chose this? He chose me. Liar. Sam shouted. He'd never. Then ask him yourself. She turned to Dean. Tell your brother. Do you want to stay? Dean slowly nodded. Yes. Sam felt his heart tear in two. Dean, snap out of it. This is an illusion. No, Dean whispered. It's possibility. Margaret raised her hand. In her palm, a glass filled with dark liquid. One sip, and you can be with us. No pain. No fear. No death. Sam drew the silver knife. I won't become one of you. Then die like a man. She lunged. The fight was short. Brutal. Margaret moved too fast. A strike, knife flew into the corner. Another, Sam dropped to his knees. You don't understand, she whispered. I'm not a monster. I am salvation. I offer eternal life. Why do you always choose death? Because, Sam gasped, if life costs nothing, if there's no pain, no fear, no loss, then it's not life. It's emptiness. He pulled a vial from his pocket. Not holy water. Not salt, his blood. From a cut finger. Smearing it across the blade. The blood of a living man, he said. Not a victim. Not a slave. Free. He surged up. Charged. Drove the knife straight into Margaret's heart. She screamed, not in pain, but in shock. You weren't supposed to know, her body trembled. Skin cracked. Eyes faded. She collapsed to her knees. I was not the first, but I was the last, in this place, and with those words, she dissolved. Into dust. Into nothing. Dean crumpled to the floor. Came to. Sam. What happened? You almost became one of them, Sam whispered. I saw Mom. She spoke to me, it wasn't her. They stumbled outside. The bar behind them fell silent. People sat frozen. Eyes closed. As if waiting. The Impala waited on the lot. They got in. Dean fired the engine. No more bars, he said. Agreed, Sam replied. The car pulled away. But in the rearview mirror, against the dark facade of the bar, a figure appeared for just a moment. Red hair. Black dress. Smiling. Then gone. They didn't speak for miles. The Impala cut through the Nebraska night like a blade through skin. No music. No jokes. No Led Zeppelin. Just the hum of the engine and the occasional crackle of the CB radio, static, whispers, half-formed voices that sounded like they were calling from beneath the road. Sam stared out the window. His hand still trembled. Not from fear. From power. The blood on the knife. The way Margaret had screamed, not in rage, but in disbelief. As if she'd never imagined someone would fight her with something as simple as choice. Dean gripped the wheel too tight. Jaw clenched. He hadn't said a word since they left. Not even when Sam wrapped his bleeding finger in gauze. Not when he checked the rearview mirror every 10 seconds. Finally, Dean exhaled. She showed me Mom. Sam turned. What? In that room. When I wasn't me. She made me see her. Standing in the kitchen. Humming. Wearing that yellow dress. She looked at me. Smiled. Said, "You're doing good, baby." Sam's throat tightened. It wasn't her. I know it wasn't her. Dean snapped, then softened. But it felt real. Like I could have stayed there forever. And part of me wanted to. Sam didn't answer. Because he understood. More than Dean knew. That pull, the promise of no more pain, no more loss, wasn't just temptation. It was grief, wearing a pretty face. And grief could kill you faster than any monster. They stopped at dawn. A roadside diner called Mabel's, built like a tin box with cracked windows and a flickering, open, sign. Inside, two truckers argued over pie. A waitress with tired eyes refilled coffee without asking. The brothers sat in a booth. A map lay between them. "We can't just drive," Sam said. "Not after what we saw. That bar, it wasn't random. It was a trap. And not just for us." "Then why let us leave?" Dean asked, stirring sugar into black coffee. "If she really wanted us, she could have killed us. Or kept us." "She didn't let us leave," Sam said quietly. "We took it. And maybe, that scared her." Dean snorted. "A vampire afraid of two guys with a silver knife? Not afraid of the knife. Afraid of what it meant. I beat her with my blood, Dean. My own will. She feeds on people who give up. Who choose the easy way out. But I fought. And so did you, in the end." Dean looked down. Nodded. "Yeah. When I heard your voice, it was like waking up from a dream. A good one. Too good." Sam unfolded the map. Traced a line west to east. "I ran a search last night. Before the bar. 3 towns in the last 10 years, similar cases. Disappearances near old bars. Locals whisper about the lady in black. 1 place in Kansas. 1 in South Dakota. 1 in Wyoming." Dean leaned in. "All bars. All named something different. But same pattern. Isolated. Old. Open late. Locals act strange. And always, someone vanishes after saying they saw something beautiful. You think it's the same thing? I think it's a pattern. And if it's a pattern, it can be broken." Dean stared at the map. At the dots Sam had marked. "You know what this looks like?" "What?" "A trail. Like someone, or something, is moving across the country. Leaving these nests behind." Sam nodded slowly. "Or testing them." 2 days later, they stood outside another bar. Not in Nebraska. In Red Falls, South Dakota. Same look. Same feel. Weathered wood. Flickering neon. Sign reading, "The Hollow Oak, open till dawn." Only difference. This one was surrounded by dead trees. Not from drought. Not from disease. Their bark was peeled off in perfect spirals, like something had unwrapped them. "Charming," Dean muttered, checking the sawed off under his jacket. "Looks like Halloween threw up." "No police cars," Sam said. "No footprints in the snow. Like no one's come or gone in weeks." They approached. Door creaked open before they touched it. Inside, silence. No music. No patrons. Just empty tables, dusty bottles, and a single figure behind the bar. An old woman. Hair white as bone. Face lined like ancient leather. She wiped a glass with a cloth that looked like it had never been washed. "You're not supposed to be here," she said, not looking up. Yeah, well, we've got a habit of going where we're not supposed to, Dean said, stepping inside. Name's Dean. This is Sam. We're looking for someone. Everyone is, she replied. But no one ever finds her. Her. The red girl, she came last winter. Sat right there. Drank nothing. Smiled at everyone. Then, she changed things. Sam exchanged a glance with Dean. Changed how? The town sleeps now, the woman whispered. They go to bed at 9. Wake at 6. Work all day. Say the same things. Eat the same food. They don't dream. They don't cry. They don't live. Where is she? The old woman finally looked up. Her eyes were pure black. She's not here anymore. She moved on. Left me to watch the nest. Nest? Dean said. What the hell is this place? A resting place, she said. For those who hunger. For those who wait. She built it. Just like the others. Sam stepped forward. Margaret. Did you know her? The woman froze. You killed her. It wasn't a question. She was feeding on people. Turning them. She was saving them. The woman hissed, voice suddenly young, sharp. She offered peace. An end to suffering. Dean drew his gun. By turning them into soulless freaks. You call that life? She spat. Pain. Loss. Grief. You carry it like a badge. But it's a curse. She gave them freedom. Freedom to do what? Be slaves to some red-headed nightmare? The old woman smiled. Slowly, horribly. You think she was the first? We know she wasn't, Sam said. But she won't be the last unless we stop it. You already failed, the woman whispered. She left something behind. She reached under the bar. Pulled out a small wooden box. Opened it. Inside, a single strand of red hair. Wrapped in black silk. Sam felt it before he saw it. A pull. Like the air itself was leaning toward the box. Dean raised his gun. 2 days later, they stood outside another bar. Not in Nebraska. In Red Falls, South Dakota. Same look. Same feel. Weathered wood. Flickering neon. Sign reading, The Hollow Oak, open till dawn. Only difference. This one was surrounded by dead trees. Not from drought. Not from disease. Their bark was peeled off in perfect spirals, like something had unwrapped them. Charming, Dean muttered, checking the sawed off under his jacket. Looks like Halloween threw up. No police cars, Sam said. No footprints in the snow. Like no one's come or gone in weeks. They approached. Door creaked open before they touched it. Inside, silence. No music. No patrons. Just empty tables, dusty bottles, and a single figure behind the bar. An old woman. Hair white as bone. Face lined like ancient leather. She wiped the glass with a cloth that looked like it had never been washed. You're not supposed to be here, she said, not looking up. Yeah, well, we've got a habit of going where we're not supposed to, Dean said, stepping inside. Name's Dean. This is Sam. We're looking for someone. Everyone is, she replied. But no one ever finds her. Her. The red girl, she came last winter. Sat right there. Drank nothing. Smiled at everyone. Then, she changed things. Sam exchanged a glance with Dean. Changed how? The town sleeps now, the woman whispered. They go to bed at 9. Wake at 6. Work all day. Say the same things. Eat the same food. They don't dream. They don't cry. They don't live. Where is she? The old woman finally looked up. Her eyes were pure black. She's not here anymore. She moved on. Left me to watch the nest. Nest? Dean said. What the hell is this place? A resting place, she said. For those who hunger, for those who wait. She built it. Just like the others. Sam stepped forward. Margaret. Did you know her? The woman froze. You killed her. It wasn't a question. She was feeding on people. Turning them. She was saving them. The woman hissed, voice suddenly young, sharp. She offered peace. An end to suffering. Dean drew his gun. By turning them into soulless freaks. You call that life? She spat. Pain. Loss. Grief. You carry it like a badge. But it's a curse. She gave them freedom. Freedom to do what? Be slaves to some red-headed nightmare. The old woman smiled. Slowly, horribly. You think she was the first? We know she wasn't, Sam said. But she won't be the last unless we stop it. You already failed, the woman whispered. She left something behind. She reached under the bar. Pulled out a small wooden box. Opened it. Inside, a single strand of red hair. Wrapped in black silk. Sam felt it before he saw it. A pull. Like the air itself was leaning toward the box. Dean raised his gun. Put it down. Too late, the woman said. She dropped the hair into a glass of water. It twisted. Swirled. Turned the liquid deep crimson. Then, a voice. Not loud. Not from the speakers. From the walls. A woman's voice. Familiar. Dean. I'm still here, Dean staggered. No, you thought you killed me. But I'm in the roads. In the silence. In the spaces between heartbeats. I'm in your brother's blood. I'm in your dreams. Sam backed toward the door. Dean, we have to go. Now. But Dean didn't move. He was staring at his hands. She's not gone, is she? No, Sam said. But she's not whole, she's a memory. A echo. And echoes fade. They ran. Behind them, the bar lights went out. One by one. Until only the box remained, glowing faintly red. That night, in a motel 20 miles away, Sam couldn't sleep. Dean sat on the edge of the bed, cleaning his guns. Methodically. Precisely. Like he was trying to stay awake by force. Do you think she'll come back? Dean asked, not looking up. Not like before, Sam said. We broke her hold. But, she left pieces of herself behind. Like seeds. So what do we do? Burn every bar like that? No. We find the source. There is no source. She said she wasn't the first. Then who was? Silence. Then, Dean's phone buzzed. A text. Unknown number. Just 4 words, she was the third. Sam read it over his shoulder. What does that mean? Dean didn't answer. He was already pulling out their father's journal. Flipped to a page near the back. A sketch. Crude. A woman in black. Standing in a doorway. Caption beneath, lore from Sioux elders. The woman who waits. Not demon. Not spirit. Older. Walks the back roads. Offers peace. Takes souls. Never stays. Always returns. Third born of the long night. 2 remain. Sam stared. Dean, This was written before we met Margaret. Dean's voice was low. Cold. Dad knew. He knew about her. And he never told us. Outside, the wind picked up. And for just a second, through the thin walls, the faint sound of a woman laughing. Soft. Sad. Hungry. Then silence. The brothers looked at each other. No jokes. No sarcasm. Just understanding. This wasn't over. It had barely begun. It rained for 3 days. Not hard. Not a storm. Just a gray, endless rain, as if the sky wept for something that wasn't dead yet, but no longer lived. The Impala cut through it like a blade through fog. The road had vanished beneath mud. The GPS was silent. Sam's map was soaked into pulp in his hands. "We're close," he said, pointing at a smudged mark on the page. According to the Sioux legend, this place is called Tarawakpa. The river where voices end. Great, Dean grumbled, wiping condensation from the windshield. Sounds like the perfect spot for a party. It's a sanctuary, Sam corrected. Or more like a prison. The elders said the first one was buried here. The one who started the cycle. She wasn't killed. She was sealed. By who? The Sioux? No. Those who came before them. The Hun people, gone now. They left stones. Writings. And one warning, do not wake the third ones. They remember your names. Dean snorted, but without humor. Well, Margaret sure remembered mine. The car got stuck in a rut. They had to walk. They found it at sunset. No grave. No temple. Just a ring of black stones jutting from the earth like bones from a wound. In the center, a pit. Deep. Bottomless. Inside, silence so thick even the falling rain made no sound when it touched the surface. Sam turned on his flashlight. The beam hit the wall of the pit. And froze. Carved into the stone were faces. Hundreds. All female. All different. But each wore the same expression, hunger, mixed with sorrow. And above them all, one inscription, in a language neither brother knew, yet Sam understood. What? Dean asked. It says, I was first. I was last. I will be again. At that moment, the wind died. The rain stopped. And from the depths of the pit came a sound, not a scream. Not a howl. Singing. A woman's voice. Soft. Melodic. In a tongue that hadn't been spoken since man first learned to fear the night. Dean grabbed Sam's arm. Let's go. Wait, Sam whispered. It's not her. It's memory. He pulled out a voice recorder, captured a few seconds. The singing stopped. Silence returned. Thick. Dangerous. Why'd you do that? Dean asked. To find where she came from. To understand what they are. What if that wakes her? She's already awake, Sam said. Through Margaret. Through the woman in South Dakota. They're not queens. They're vessels. What? I thought Margaret was a vampire. But now I get it. She was possessed. By something ancient. Something that uses beautiful women to walk the earth. To gather souls. To survive. Dean stared into the pit. So we have to kill them all? No. We have to destroy her. The first. The one inside. And if she's not inside? Then where did the first go? In answer, rustling. From under the ground. Beneath the stones. Something was moving. Back at the motel. Night. The recorder sat on the table. Sam connected it to his laptop, began analyzing frequencies. It's not just a language, he said. It's a formula. Like a spell. Or, a summoning. Who's it calling? I don't know. But here's the weird part. When I speed it up 3.5 times, another voice comes through. Male. Speaking English. Dean frowned. Play it. Sam pressed play. The sound climbed higher, faster. And then, clear, cold, it spoke, and the third child shall be offered at the crossroads where blood flows on its own. And her name shall be Mary. Dean shot up. That's Dad's voice. Sam paled. What? It's his cadence. His pauses. His way of speaking. But he never said this. Or he said it when we weren't there. They replayed it 10 times. Each time, the same fragment. Same voice. Same name. Mary. Mom, Dean whispered. He's talking about Mom, Sam said. But how? This is a chant from a grave. And he, somehow, he's answering it. Which means he knew. Knows. Is tied to this. But why? What did he do? The next morning, they found the answer. In the local library archives, an old newspaper from 1978. A photo. A young man with a rifle. Beside him, 2 elders in traditional dress. Headline, Hunter helps Sioux tribe protect sacred land from desecrators. Photo enlarged. The hunter's face. Younger. No scar on the brow. But it was him. John Winchester. He was there, Sam breathed. At the ceiling. So he saw her, Dean added. The first. And maybe knew she'd return one day. They returned to the stone circle. Night. Full moon. Air still. If she fully awakens, Sam said, she won't stop at one town. Not 10. She'll keep going. Offering peace. Taking souls. And everyone who accepts, becomes part of her army. Like Margaret. But stronger. Because this, is the source. Dean pulled out a bottle. Not whiskey. Blood. His own. He drew a symbol on the ground, the mark of Cain from their father's journal. John once said, this is a door. But only for those willing to walk through. What are you doing? Sam asked. What I should have done back in Ogallala. Finishing this. He stepped toward the pit. Hey! He shouted down. You hear me? This is Dean Winchester. John's son. You knew my mother. You showed me her face. But you had no right. Silence. Then, a whisper. From the air itself. Dean. I remember you, before you were born, yeah. Then tell me, why her? Why Mom? Because she said, no. When all others said, yes, what? I offered her life without pain. Without fear. She refused. Said, better to die than lose my children. Such ones are rare. I remembered her. And returned, Dean clenched his fists. You killed her. I did not touch her, I watched. Another entered the house. With yellow eyes. But I was near. I saw, Sam flinched. She's saying, she didn't kill Mom. Then who did? But there was no answer. Instead, from the pit rose fog. Black. Thick. Forming into a shape. A woman. Tall. Faceless. Only 2 glowing spots where eyes should be, like embers in ash. I am the first, the wind whispered. I am the beginning. I am hunger. I am the one who waits. You end here, Dean said. Now. No, she replied. I only begin. Your brother listens to my song. Your father carries my mark. And you already belong to me. You wanted to stay in that bar. You craved peace. I chose otherwise. Choice is illusion. In the end, all come to me. Even you. She reached out. Shadowy hands burst from the mist, grabbed Dean. Dragged him toward the edge. Sam lunged forward, splashed holy water, through salt. But the shadow dissolved, only to reform. I cannot be destroyed by fire, she whispered. Nor steel. Nor prayer. I am mankind's memory of peace. I am the dream to die and feel nothing. Then die by love, Sam said. He pulled out a vial. Not water. Ashes. Ashes from the site where their mother's house burned. This is what she chose. Pain. Suffering. Love. Life. He threw the ashes into the mist. She screamed. Not from pain. From astonishment. You do not fear me. No, Sam said. I fear losing my brother. Losing the memory of Mom. But I don't fear you. Because you're not salvation. Your escape. The shadow trembled. Broke apart. Vanished. The pit sealed itself. Stones fell. As if the earth had closed its mouth. Dean lay on the ground. Breathing. You okay? Sam asked. Yeah. Just, she was right. Part of me wanted to say yes. I know. But you said no. That's enough. They left. But the next morning, in the car, Sam noticed. On the back seat, a single strand of red hair. No one had put it there. It had simply appeared. The red hair sat on the back seat like a curse left behind. Sam stared at it for 10 miles before he dared touch it. Not with fingers. With tweezers. Placed it in a glass vial. Sealed it. Labeled it, not Margaret. Not human. Dean didn't look at it once. He just drove. Faster. Harder. Like if he went fast enough, he could outrun the voice that still echoed in his head, you already belong to me. They didn't talk about what happened at the stone circle. Didn't talk about their mother's name in the chant. Didn't talk about John being there, decades ago, sealing something he never warned them about. But they both knew. It wasn't over. It had changed. 2 nights later, in a motel outside Rapid City, the phone rang. Not Sam's. Not Dean's. The room phone. Old. Rotary. Hadn't worked since they checked in. Yet it rang, once. Long shrill. Dean answered. Silence. Then, a voice. Low. Familiar. Guttural. Don't trust anyone with green eyes. Dean froze. Dad? She walks in borrowed skin. She speaks with stolen breath. But she is not alone. There is another, older, hungrier. Find the crossroads where blood flows on its own. Burn the first mark. Break the chain. And Sam, don't let him say yes. The line died. Dean slammed the receiver down. What? Sam asked, sitting up. That was Dad. I know it was. He's not here. He hasn't called in weeks. I heard him, Sam. He said, don't trust green eyes. Said you shouldn't let me say yes. Sam's blood ran cold. Say yes to what? But Dean wasn't listening. He was already tearing apart the room. Mattress flipped. Light fixtures ripped out. Behind the TV, he found it. A symbol. Carved into the wall. Fresh. Still losing dust from the plaster. The same one from the stone circle. The mark of Cain. Only this time, it was burned, not carved. As if something hot had pressed into the drywall. He was here, Dean whispered. Or something wearing his voice was. They traced the call. Impossible, really. Landline in a dead zone. No tower. No signal. But Sam remembered something, buried in John's journal. A frequency. A way to track impossible calls, the kind spirits made when the veil thinned. They rigged a scanner. Tuned it. And caught a whisper. A location. Cold Creek, Wyoming. Population, 87. Last census, 1983. No record of electricity since 1991. One landmark, an abandoned church at the crossroads of Route 89 and County Line Road. Local legend, blood rains from the steeple every midnight. No one knows why. Where blood flows on its own, Sam breathed. Dean grabbed the keys. Let's go find out who's wearing my father's voice. Cold Creek wasn't a town. It was a warning. Buildings stood rotting, roofs caved in, doors swinging like broken jaws. No animals. No birds. Just wind through shattered windows, making sounds like crying. And at the center, the church. Wooden. Collapsed steeple. Sign hanging crooked, repent. The end is written. They approached slowly. Inside, no pews. No altar. Only a circle of black candles, unlit, arranged in the shape of a spiral. In the center, a single chair, metal. Old. Strapped down. And on the floor, written in ash, "You were always mine." Dean stepped forward. This is a trap. Obviously, Sam said. But we're already inside. Then, light. From above. The steeple. Something dripped. Thick. Red. Blood. It fell drop by drop onto a metal basin below. And as each drop hit, the air rippled. Like reality was thin here. Sam pulled out the vial, Margaret's hair. Held it under the stream. The blood avoided it. Curled away, as if repelled. It knows, Sam whispered. It knows she's gone. Suddenly, Dean gasped. His hand flew to his chest. Dean, I'm fine. Just, felt like someone grabbed my heart. Then the candles lit themselves. Blue flame. Cold. Smelling of copper and roses. And from the shadows, a figure. Wearing John Winchester's coat. His boots. His face. But the eyes. Green. Not hazel. Not brown. Green. Like emeralds soaked in poison. Dad? Dean said, voice breaking. The figure smiled. Wrong. Too wide. You shouldn't have come, boys. What are you? Sam demanded. I am what your father fears, it said. I am the first hunger. The one who waits in silence. I wore Margaret. I wore the woman in South Dakota. I will wear others. And soon. I will wear him. It pointed at Dean. No, Dean said. You stay the hell away from me. You already dream of me, the thing whispered. You see her, your mother, in my voice. You want peace. You want to stop running. And I can give it to you. All you have to do is say yes. Sam stepped between them. He won't. Won't he? The figure tilted its head. Then ask him. Ask him what he saw in Ogallala. Not just his mother. Ask him what else was in the dream. Dean looked away. Shut up. There was a house, the thing said softly. Yellow door. Smoke rising. And inside, a crib, and a shadow with yellow eyes. But you didn't run in. You watched. And part of you was glad. Dean roared, drawing his gun. Fired. Silver bullet. Holy water core. It struck the figure in the chest. It didn't flinch. Just laughed. Bullets don't kill hunger, Dean. Only choice does. Then, it changed. The face melted. The body twisted. Grew taller. Thinner. Skin turned gray. Eyes sank. Mouth stretched into a lipless gash. It wasn't human anymore. It wasn't even close. I am the space between heartbeats, it hissed. I am the silence after the scream. I am the reason monsters fear the dark. Sam threw the vial. It shattered at its feet. The creature screamed, not in pain, but in recognition. You carry her ashes, and her son, and her defiance. How beautiful. How familiar, it lunged. They ran. Behind them, the church exploded, not in fire, but in sound. A wave of pure noise that shattered every window for miles. They made it to the Impala. Tires screamed on gravel. In the rearview mirror, the church collapsed. Buried under dirt. As if the earth had swallowed it whole. Back on the road, dawn creeping over the hills, Sam finally spoke. It wasn't Dad. No, Dean said, but it knew things only he would. About Mom. About me. About, saying yes. It's studying us, Dean. Learning how to break us. It used Margaret to test the waters. Now it's aiming for the source. Me. Both of us. But especially you. Because you want to say yes. Not because you're weak. Because you're tired. Dean didn't answer. He just stared ahead. Then, quietly, what if I did say yes? Just to make it stop. Then I'd stop you, Sam said. Even if I had to tie you up. Even if I had to knock you out. I won't lose you to some ancient thing that feeds on grief. Dean looked at him. You really believe we can win? No, Sam said. But I believe we can fight. And just then, the radio crackled. A voice. Faint. Distorted. But unmistakable. Sam. Dean, keep moving, don't look back, she's not the only one waiting, John's voice. Real this time. Or was it? Dean turned it off. Neither brother spoke. Because some questions don't need answers. Some horrors walk too well in familiar shoes. And ahead, on the horizon, a new road. A new hunt. And somewhere, deep in the static between stations, a woman began to sing. Softly. In a language no human should know. The radio noise never stopped. Not white noise. Not static. It was singing. Soft. Persistent. As if someone were trying to reach through layers of time. Sam listened for hours. It's not random, he said one night, as they pulled over at an abandoned gas station. It repeats. Same melody. Same pauses. Like, a recording. Maybe it's just interference, Dean grumbled, cleaning his shotgun. Or your brain short-circuiting after all this crap. No. I hear words. Almost. On the edge of hearing. Like in a dream. He connected his laptop to the Impala's antenna, began analyzing the signal, sped it up. Slowed it down. Filtered frequencies. And then, it cleared. The song was in English. Old-fashioned. A pre-war ballad style. Female voice, gentle, but with a slight rasp, as if the singer had smoked too many cigarettes and known too much. I stood at midnight on the line, where shadows drink and blood runs wine. He called my name with hollow breath, and I said yes, before my death. Sam went cold. Dean. Listen to this. Dean put on the headphones. Listen twice. Damn. That sounds like a confession. Or a warning, Sam said. I checked the frequency. It matches an old radio station. K-Wave, 1470 AM. Was on air in 1949. In Cold Creek. Right before it disappeared. The same town? Yeah. But the station wasn't in the town. It was 12 miles out, on top of a hill. There was a transmitter. A tower. And a house for the DJ. Why do I feel like we're already late? The tower stood like a ghost. Iron lattice, rusted, covered in bird droppings and something else, dark, sticky, like tar. The door below was slightly open. On the threshold, old shoes. Red. High heels. As if the owner had just stepped inside, and forgotten to come back. Inside, the studio. Small. Run down. The lights were on. Lit. Though the tower hadn't been connected to the grid since 1953. On the desk, a vinyl record spinning on a turntable. No needle. No movement. But the song played. The same one. And the air grew thin, the lights went dim, the voice inside me whispered, "Let him in." Sam approached the console. On the screen, name. Elora Main. On air, 2359. That's impossible, he whispered. She died in 1949. Or maybe not, Dean said, scanning the room. Sometimes, death is just a way to start broadcasting on another frequency. On the wall, a photograph. A young woman. Red hair. Green eyes. Smiling, but with exhaustion in the corners of her lips. Pain. Caption, to beloved Elora. Voice of Nebraska. 1948. Could she be, Sam started. She's the second, Dean finished. The one who waited before us. Before Margaret. Before all of them. At that moment, the record stopped. Silence. Then, a voice. From the speaker. No music. Direct. Clear. You've finally come. Sam flinched. Elora. I cannot leave. But you can enter. Through the airwaves. Through frequency. Through pain. Why? Dean asked. Because you are the key. You broke the first seal. Now the second must be broken. Or she will grow stronger. Who? The one you saw. The one who speaks with your father's voice. She is not the first. Not the second. She is the third. The last. And she wants one of you to say yes. To become her vessel. Her gateway into this world. Sam frowned. But you're a queen too. Why help us? I did not choose this. I was chosen. Just as he will be. But I resisted. I cut the song midline. I did not fully say yes. And now I am trapped between worlds. A voice without a body. A soul in the wires. What do we do? Dean asked. Find the crossroads. Where blood flows on its own. Destroy the mark. But do not let her speak to you directly. Especially you, Dean. She knows what you want. What you fear. She will speak with your mother's voice. With Sam's. With mine. What if she's already inside? Sam whispered. Pause. Then you have already lost. But fight anyway, even if it's useless. Especially if it's useless. The record started again. The song from the beginning. But this time, in the final line, Elora's voice changed. Deeper. Darker. Say yes, say, and suddenly, cut off. Silence. Sam looked at Dean. She was trying to warn us. But something stopped her. Something or someone, Dean muttered. He walked to the transmitter. Large, ancient, dials and coils exposed. On the back panel, the symbol. The same as in the church. The mark of Cain. Only here, it was burned in, as if seared with hot wire. This isn't just a radio, Sam said. It's a portal. How she speaks. How it gets through. Then we shut it down, Dean said. He grabbed a hammer. Wait. Sam shouted. If we destroy it, she won't be able to warn us next time. Or she becomes the bridge, Dean said. And he swung. First strike, antenna. Second, console. Third, turntable. Sparks. Smoke. Shattered glass. The song died. Once and for all. In that same instant, the lights went out. Silence. But as they turned to leave, Sam heard it. Faint. From the last working speaker. The first sleeps. The third waits. And you are already inside. He froze. Did you hear that? Dean didn't answer. Just stared at his hands. I feel her, he whispered. In my head. Not a voice. Not an image. Just, wanting. For it to end. We're almost there, Sam said. One more step. What if the last step is saying yes? They stepped out. Behind them, part of the tower collapsed. As if the earth itself had turned away from this place. In the car, silence. The radio stayed dead. But an hour later, as they drove down the highway, it turned on by itself. No song. Just one line, whispered into the void, he will say yes. And silence. They found it where the maps ended. Not marked. Not named. Just 3 cracked asphalt roads bleeding into one another beneath a sky that didn't look right. Too dark. Too still. As if the stars had been smudged out with ash. And in the center, a well. Not stone. Not wood. Carved from black rock, like the stones at Tarawakpa. Iron chains dangled over the edge. At the bottom, something red. Thick. Moving. Blood. It didn't pool. It crawled. Like veins under skin. This is it, Sam whispered. The crossroads. Where blood flows on its own. Dean stepped forward, salt in one hand, lighter fluid in the other. So we burn it. Simple. Nothing about this is simple, Sam said. That blood, it's not just a sign. It's alive. It's aware. Look. He pointed. Where Dean's shadow touched the edge of the well, the blood pulled back. As if afraid. Then, wind. Cold. Sudden. From no direction. And the voice came, not from the well. From the air. Soft. Familiar. Dean, baby. I'm so proud of you, Dean froze. Sam turned. But there was no one. Only the wind. And the blood. And the voice of their mother. Don't listen, Sam said, stepping close. I know it's not her, Dean whispered. But God, it sounds like her. You've carried it for so long, the voice continued. The weight. The pain. Let it go. Say yes. Just say yes, and I'll hold you again. Dean's hand trembled. Shut up. You don't have to fight anymore. You can rest. You can come home. A figure formed in the mist. Mary Winchester. In her yellow dress. Hair soft. Eyes warm. Smiling. But her feet didn't touch the ground. And behind her, the shape. Tall. Faceless. Green eyes burning in the dark. The third. The final queen. She wasn't possessing Mary. She was the illusion. Sam, Dean said, voice breaking. Tell me what to do. Burn the mark, Sam said. Now. Before it takes more. Dean looked at the symbol carved into the lip of the well. The mark of Cain. Same as before. But older. Deeper. Etched with names, hundreds of them. Some legible. Margaret. Elora. Thomas. Daniel. Sarah. Mary. His mother's name. Carved. But crossed out. It tried to take her, Sam realized. But she said no. And now it wants me to say yes, Dean said. It feeds on surrender, Sam said. On grief. On the moment you stop fighting. That's why it showed you Mom. That's why it speaks through the dead. Dean poured the lighter fluid over the symbol. Lit the salt trail. Fire bloomed, blue at first, then white hot. The blood screamed. Not metaphorically. A real sound, high, piercing, rising from the well like steam. The figure of Mary flickered. Don't do this, Dean, she begged. I'm right here. Just reach out. He stepped back. You're not her. I am everything you want. No. You're everything I fear. That I'll give up. That I'll leave him alone. Sam grabbed his arm. Now. Dean threw the torch. Flame hit the mark. The ground shook. Cracks split the asphalt. The well groaned. The blood boiled, then retreated, sinking down, down, down into the dark. The illusion shattered. Mary vanished. The green eyes flared, one last time. You delay the inevitable, the voice hissed. But the hunger remains. And when you break, when you whisper, yes, in the dark. I will be waiting. Already inside. Then silence. The fire died. The wind stopped. Only the brothers stood at the crossroads. Alive. Changed. They drove in silence. No music. No jokes. No Led Zeppelin. Just the road. After miles, Dean spoke. I wanted to say yes. Sam didn't react. I saw her. Really saw her. And part of me didn't care if it was fake. I just wanted to believe. I know, Sam said softly. What if next time? I don't stop. Then I'll carry you. Even if I have to drag you. Even if you hate me. Because that's what family does. Dean looked at him. You ever think Dad knew all this would happen? I think he knew enough to be afraid, Sam said. And that's why he left. They passed a sign, Salvation, Iowa, 78 miles. Dean exhaled. We're heading into something worse, aren't we? Probably, Sam said. But we're going anyway. Yeah. We are. He reached for the radio. Turned it on. Silence. Then, crackle. A single message, distorted, but clear, salvation. Yellow eyes. Your father is waiting. Dean stared at the phone. It hadn't rung. No notification. But the message was there. Sam read it. Said nothing. Dean put the car in drive. Turned east. As the sun rose behind them, casting long shadows ahead, the Impala rolled forward, into the unknown. And somewhere, deep beneath the earth, something ancient opened its eyes, and smiled. They didn't speak of what happened at the crossroads. Not because they didn't want to. But because some things can't be spoken. Not in words meant for human tongues. The way the blood screamed. The way Dean's breath caught when his mother's voice called him, baby. The way Sam saw something in the fire, not a shape, not a face, but a recognition, as if the thing beneath knew him, and had been waiting. The road carried them forward. East. Toward Iowa. Toward salvation. The sun rose slow that morning, pale and watchful, like it was afraid to look too closely at what these two brothers had survived. The Impala rolled steady, engine humming low, tires whispering over cracked asphalt. No music played. Not yet. Some silences need to be felt before sound can return. Dean drove with both hands on the wheel. His knuckles were white. Not from tension, from focus. Like he was holding himself together with sheer will. Sam watched the horizon. "You think it's really gone?" he asked, finally. Dean didn't answer right away. "No," he said. "It's not gone. It's just quiet. Waiting. Like it knows we'll see it again. And if we do, then we fight. Again. And again. Doesn't matter how many times it comes back. Doesn't matter how many forms it wears. I don't care if it looks like Mom, or you, or me. I'm not saying yes." Sam nodded. But he didn't believe it would be that simple. Because he could still hear it, faint, like radio static between stations. A whisper. Not in his ears. In his bones. And sometimes, in the silence, he thought he heard Dean's voice, only softer, slower, say the words he never would, "Yes, just make it stop." He didn't say it out loud. But he didn't have to. Some wounds don't bleed. They echo. They stopped at a gas station just outside the Nebraska border. Empty lot. Flickering lights. A payphone with a dangling cord. Dean went inside for coffee. Sam stayed behind, leaning against the Impala, staring up at the sky. A man walked past, local, maybe. Wore a worn flannel shirt. Said nothing. But as he passed, he turned his head just slightly. His eyes were green. Not hazel. Not light brown. Green. Like poison in moonlight. Sam tensed. The man kept walking. Vanished into the dark. Sam didn't move, didn't call out. Just watched. Then, slowly, he opened the trunk. Checked the weapons. Salt. Silver. Holy water. The journal. Everything ready. Because it wasn't over. It would never be over. They crossed into Iowa by midday. Field stretched wide. Sky flat. Wind low. A place where secrets could hide in plain sight. Dean broke the silence. "You know, for a second, back at the well. I almost believed her." "I know," Sam said. "I wanted to. More than anything. To just, let go. But you didn't." "No. Because of you." Sam looked at him. "We keep each other human," he said. "That's why it hates us. Not because we hunt it. Because we resist. Even when we want to stop." Dean smirked, just a little. "Damn right." He reached over. Turned on the radio. Static. Then, a voice. Faint, distant. "Missing hiker found dead near Blackwater Ridge, severe lacerations, local police suspect animal attack." Sam sat up. Dean met his eyes. No words needed. They already knew. This wasn't just another case. This was the next door. And somewhere, deep in the woods, something waited. Something hungry. Something old. Dean pulled onto the shoulder. Opened the glove compartment. Pulled out their father's journal. Flipped to a blank page. Wrote one line, "We're coming, Dad." Then closed it. Started the engine. And the Impala roared back to life, black, defiant, rolling toward the trees. Toward the hunt. Toward the dark. And as the sun dipped below the fields, casting long shadows ahead, the last voice whispered, not through radio, not through wind, but from somewhere deep inside, he will say yes. But for now, they drove on.